Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Select Talent. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the first of our two parts to the pregame show. We have coming on here with us minor technical difficulties. We've got JujitsuSayian. He's going to be coming in here momentarily. Again, he is the coach from Alabama. Alabama Crimson Tide are coming into tonight's game with a pretty big record overall. Just taking a peek at it for you guys. We are looking at several key wins. Again, you can see them scrolling down around the bottom. They did win against Florida State. They picked up a win against ULM, Wisconsin, FCS Northwest, Baylor, Utah. Baylor and Utah were, along with Oregon, Kent State. Basically, they went on a massive tear at the beginning of the season. Then the way the schedule worked out, they had four tough road games all in the SEC to finish out the season. They won basically the first 11 straight. They took on Tennessee in Knoxville, won that. One down at Ole Miss, one at Kentucky, in a fairly low-scoring game, 24-3, and then lost in a thriller to Florida, 28-24. Then how did they get here? They won the SEC title, beating Florida 59-33 in a rematch after 2 bye weeks. Then they went on. They did get the bye in the first round, took on Penn State in the quarterfinals, won that game 48-14, and then after a very strong start, held off Texas at the end, winning 55-31. But with that, as soon as we get our coach in, we'll be happy to continue that interview. So, with that, again, we've got a couple of people coming on tonight. It's a pretty big night for us. Not only do we have this interview that's set to start here momentarily, we also have a follow up with the Notre Dame head coach. That's going to be their opponent coming into tonight. And let's see. Here we go. Jiu-Jitsu, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Well, I do have again, I was pretty much just talking off the cup really quick. Just went over your schedule. And again, we'll get into that. At first, really unscripted question. How was that schedule, playing with those 4 SEC games late on the road?
Um, it was different from what I was used to the first year, to be honest. But they were interesting, if you want to say.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's the SEC, so every game can be tough. You never know what to expect every week, so that's where I was, to be honest. But it was a good way to get myself ready for playoffs late in the year.
Yeah. And we saw that you I did lose that last regular season game to Florida, but you were able to get your revenge just the next game up, with giving you the bye and then the win over Penn State and Texas. So with that, what players have stepped up for you in the playoffs to get you here in the national championship?
Um, to be honest, I it's really hard to point out one particular player, but I can definitely say my D line has stepped up this year greatly. Um, they've been everything as far as what we want to do going forward, and how we set our game plan going forward. And then outside of that, it's going to be my freshman running back. My freshman running back is something that I was able to pick up in the recruiting this last year and has
Nice.
made a huge difference. Because I know I had decent running backs, but to way to be able to run the way I wanted to be able to be ran and get those things done. So my running back has stepped up big, and my D line for sure.
Yeah, and what makes you think you can go ahead and win the Natty off of that? Is that just your big strength, the run game, and then your defensive line just holding the fort up front?
Most definitely. I definitely think that my D line has a big part to do with it. My guys from um, my guys on the up front, it's just different. If you want to
Yeah,
say.
it
But
it looks
I,
like SEC football out there. That's
yeah,
all I can say. I
we're
mean, we watched a couple of your games here in the
yeah,
playoffs.
we're very physical up front, and that is that is not just by because it is what it is. That is my brand of ball, and that's how I want to play ball. So um, that in, but I'm also very balanced. People look at it and say, well, all he does is run the ball. Well, I can throw the ball pretty well. I just when I need to throw the ball, I throw the ball consistently. I can take the time and chew clock it out, but um, I feel like I just can be balanced at times. Is more so what helps me, and I understand when I need to slow the game down, let everybody kind of catch their breath, and I
Yep.
also know when to speed it up.
Exactly, exactly. Then, really, again, being a little introspective, what weaknesses do you think could derail your season here late?
If I get too panicky, and start just chunking them up or throwing crazy passes, turnovers are expected. To be honest, um, I haven't had a ton of them this year, but in the one game I did lose, it wasn't even a really bad, crazy turnover game. I just two turnovers. So just don't get panicky back there trying to overdo it. Don't overthink. Just be patient and stay within my game on offense and defense, knowing that, you know, Notre Dame's going to score. They're a good team. They're going to score points. So don't worry on defense. Just keep doing stick with the game plan and offense, knowing that I have the ability to score with anybody if it comes a shootout, but knowing that I need to stay calm and just stay focused.
Okay, and really, are there any injuries, anything you're worried about on that front?
Not for me. I've actually been lucky this year that I haven't had any if.
Nice. Yeah, and then, well, after this game, how confident are you in being in this position next year? We haven't had anyone repeat in both. Tennessee didn't qualify for the playoffs, and again, you took care of Florida. They were the other championship contender last year.
I'm honestly pretty confident. I know I lose about 8 seniors that are starters.
Oof.
Um, but I have a lot of young talent that people think that, everybody's like, well, you inherited Bama. Last year I inherited Bama with a 0-2, 0-3 team already and just, turned
Yeah.
it around. But I've produced and been able to get the talent where I want them to be. And I've recruited plenty of good kids that, that people that went under their radar. Um, and I've got some guys that were already on the roster that people didn't that don't know their names because they don't start in real life now. And
Yeah.
so I've got some talent that people just don't know about. But I feel pretty confident I can be back. I think I've got my quarterback of the future already on the team. Nobody has seen him play yet, and if I get up big, I might just pull him out. Just to show
All
what I
right.
have.
So you're just getting ready to retool after Saban left you. That's what I'm hearing. And then again, I do have an extra question. I know we didn't go over this, but we have just learned breaking news that we Notre Dame has two players that are going to be out for the championship game. That's their quarterback C.J. Carr and wide receiver Nick Harbor. They've both been suspended for breaking league rules. Uh, Again, how do you think this is going to impact your team just really here less than 2 hours before kickoff?
To be honest, I don't. I think the biggest hurt for him is going to be Harbor. Um, it changes the game plan for me a little, not too drastically. I know Harbor was his main go-to guy, I know he has other people that are fast and so forth, but Nick Harbor was his go-to guy. So losing him is going to hurt. I know he has, some decent backups as far as quarterback and things like that. His main, I know his bread and butter was, his love, his starting running back, and Nick Harbor, and so that makes me be able to adjust a little bit. Um,
Yeah, Love
but
is playing. Love is
yeah,
playing in this game, just so we're clear on that.
yeah.
Okay.
So I understand that, and I think that just him losing Nick Harbor hurts his opportunity. To be honestly, and it doesn't sound like I don't want to be confident or cocky or anything like that. I think that hurts his chances and makes it harder on him because I think I've proven that you know it's going to take more than one person to beat me, and you have to be very good at the game to beat me.
All right. Well, we look forward to getting that kicked off again. Just it's going to start about 2 hours from now. Again, we're going to load in with our pregame. We've got All Rise, Gator, Nate. We've got a couple of guys that are going to come in. We're going to talk about it, see what their predictions are. Again, we already have the line out based off of the other coaches in Select Talent. They have you as a 4-point favorite. So we'll see how that holds up. And again, thank you for taking your time to speak with me, and maybe we'll talk after the game.
I appreciate it. And I would like to also say this too. I appreciate all the supporters out there, and I'll talk with every commissioner. And this is speaking directly to Notre Dame. Uh, Last year, I don't know if you knew about this fireball. Last year, Notre Dame was a commish and gave me a forced loss on accident, and that put me out of the playoffs last year. And so I've gotten permission that I will be respectful, but I will be personally be trying to run up the score if it's an opportunity given for a payback.
All
So
right. Well, it sounds like game on here.
it
So
will
I'd
be
love to
game on.
hear it. I'm going to have to quote you on that, and we will see you here in about an hour, and well, really about 2 hours from now. And again, thank you for jumping in, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.